Well, I was going to say, I got into it by doing the college program, so I can talk about the Disney College program as someone who moved here from out of state, because I'm not a Florida native. Like, Keaton's a Florida native, but I'm from Vermont. Oh. Okay. So I moved here like 4 years ago, and like, I was like, wow, there's nothing in Vermont. I'm staying here.
Yeah.
And that's how that happened.
We went to a wedding in Vermont, and like, there's literally, it's a four-way stop. Like, the big cities are, yes, I'm not kidding.
There's only 2 spots where you can legally do a U-turn, and I kept forgetting that. So I kept being like, oh, nope, can't do that. I have to turn and then like go back out.
Yeah, there's nothing.
That's weird.
Yeah, U-turns are illegal. Billboards are illegal. Trying to think. Cows have right of way. That's a really fun one.
In Vermont?
Yeah, the cows have the right of way. If they're crossing the street, you just got to sit there and wait.
I didn't even know Vermont had cows.
I know.
Oh, there's more cows than people per capita. That's a fun fact I had to know when I was a tour guide.
Oh, we're going to talk all about Vermont. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I used to be a tour guide at the teddy bear factory.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. When I was 16, I don't know who let me loose in a teddy bear factory to tell people how they're made, but yeah, that was probably one of the most fun jobs I had. But yeah, I like to think that I've dabbled in all aspects of theater, and I throw being a tour guide into the performing side of
that is
that.
definitely
It
performance.
is.
Just had to talk for 30 minutes about how
I've never really thought about it that way though.
It is.
Because
You gotta
like,
keep people's
a character,
attention.
so when I first started working at SeaWorld, I worked in education, and they're essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, so like when I first arrived, the first week that you're there, they give you all of these books on each animal station, right, in the park, and then you have to come up with like a talk track with 3 points that you're going to give in under 2 minutes, and that becomes one of your talk tracks for when you actually go out into the park.
Oh, wow, so you kind of make your own based on these books.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so like
That
the
is
books give you all the information that you need to make however many talk tracks you want to make, honestly, because there's a lot of stuff in the books. But yeah.
God,
Everybody
I
always
think that's
chooses
all
the same
scripted, you know?
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I was at Teddy Bear, they gave me a script, and then like there were points I had to follow, but there were other points where I could kind of like change the verbiage myself. We also were supposed to give at least 10 bear puns per tour. Like that was our bear puns.
Oh, puns.
Yeah, that was our average. No, so like when people would read the sign that was like, did you know on average my official title was Bear Ambassador because I spoke for the bears. Our bear ambassadors give 10 bear puns per tour, and people would like point it out and be like, what's that mean? And I was like, oh yeah, I have to give 10 bear puns per tour, so bear with me here.
There you go. You're like,
check. By the end of the day, I can barely stand myself.
Oh, too. Yeah.
Check.
That's bad.
It is bad.
I think my favorite one was we would talk about like how we shipped the bears out to all their friends, and if you ever order a Vermont teddy bear, the boxes have an air hole on the side so they can breathe, and on the inside there's a board game, and we also send them with caramels or chocolates depending on what time of year it is and where the bear is going to, but the bear usually leaves the snack for his new friend because when he leaves our factory he's stuffed.
Ah, there you go.
They also all come with a bow tie, so they're not bare naked.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
4.
There you go.
Yeah.
Racking them
I
up.
still got it. It's been 10 years since
You're
I
like,
worked there.
just
What's the
rattling
name
off.
of that company?
The
Like,
Vermont
is
Teddy Bear
it-
Factory.
Oh, okay. So
You've
yeah.
ever heard of Vermont teddy
Yeah.
bears?
Yeah. I have.
They're really expensive, but they're very good
used-
quality.
I remember there used to be commercials like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Are they like you play with them bears, or you stick them on a shelf and look at them bears?
They're
could
kind
do
of
both,
they're
I
kind
think.
of both. I feel like you'd want to get like one as a keepsake, and then you get one for your kid to play with. There's like 3 things that make them like distinctly Vermont teddy bears. Well, technically 4. They have little like butt tags, and that's technically their like lifetime warranty. So like if it breaks, you can send it to the bear hospital, and they'll fix it. Dr. Nancy will fix them. She's still there. They
my
have
God.
moving joints.
Oh, okay.
Which is really cool, so you can move their arms and their legs, and in their eyes it says "Born in Vermont" because they're born, not made. And then the other thing is if you
Like a
lay
Cabbage Patch Kid.
if you lay the bear on its back, it has what we call a Ben and Jerry's belly because it's got a nice big belly. So yeah,
I have one of those. The bellies.
When you lay on your back.
Now we know what to call it. It's Ben and Jerry's, right?
Yeah. Ben and Jerry's belly.
I like it.
Vermont teddy bear.
God.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
We have lots to share.
Yeah. All right, so welcome to we kind of got started with the bears, I think.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
But welcome to the Drum Mamas. I'm Kristen.
I'm Angela.
I'm Kathy.
Today we have
Ericka!
Yay! Welcome, Ericka. We're so
you.
excited to have you on today.
Finding out so much about you already. Working
Yeah.
in the bear factory and
I know, right?
never met anybody that worked in
I
a bear factory.
know. It's super cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been told that I've had like a lot of weird jobs, and I'll tell people like off the cuff, I'm like, oh, I also did this at some point, and they're like, what haven't you done? And I'm like,
You're one
I
of
don't,
those.
I don't know, food service,
You're
like,
like Kristen. She's that way too.
Yeah.
All these
Am I?
random jobs.
Very like
oh yeah.
eccentric type.
Yes. Like knows a lot about
occupations.
just weird things. I feel like you might
Yeah.
be that way
I know
too.
a lot of weird things about animals.
Yeah.
And cosplay and
Oh
photography.
yeah, I guess
and,
there is that. I sewed for a while.
Yeah.
Did that.
Yeah.
Hey, before we start, I got a true crime for us.
Oh, do it. Yeah,
Yay.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm so
yeah.
in.
This is my personal true crime.
Oh no.
Don't get too excited. Friday morning,
Yes.
I'm going in my purse to get something
have a
out
very
of my
dramatic
wallet. I know,
stance.
because I'm very confused by this.
We're gonna help you get through it. Okay.
I open up my purse and there is half a roll of toilet paper in my purse.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I have no idea where it came from. My kids didn't do it. My husband didn't do it. I don't know where this toilet paper came from.
Cats did it.
Dun,
How could they
dun,
get a toilet paper? And it's
dun.
like cheap stuff. It's not like Angel Soft or something.
So it's not from your house.
No,
Oh.
Well, no.
Oh.
Right. No, it's not our toilet paper.
Have you had drinks recently?
No.
Just asking.
Did I give you one of my gummies?
are your cats indoor or outdoor?
But they couldn't have gotten that. It's like a flat purse. They
I-
couldn't have like put
I
it.
just watched a news story about a cat who like was going into people's houses and like stealing their
Oh,
laundry,
yeah.
like the klepto kitty. Like,
Mhm. I feel like I might be a klepto kitty. Did I like steal that somewhere when I was out Friday?
Oh, do you sleepwalk?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You may need to
great
set up a
time to find
camera.
out.
Yeah.
I'm very confused by it. And
Well,
it's just sitting on my
trace-
counter until I figure out where it
Did you
came
trace
from.
your steps? Like,
I
So
did.
where were you on Friday? Did you guys
We
go
were at-
anywhere?
Arnold Palmer Hospital. No, this was Nemours Hospital in the morning
Okay.
in Orlando. And they have the
Okay.
big, huge rolls. You know, they don't have the little individual rolls.
Right.
Then back to school. And then we were at Harrison for the junior or thespian induction. They have the big rolls.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got this toilet paper from. Did I like kleptomaniac it in my sleep
I
or
don't
something?
know. Well, I mean, it wasn't something you bought, so it's definitely from
No.
outside the
It's
home.
like literally half a roll of toilet paper, like with a jagged edge. It's not even like a clean
Maybe it
edge.
was a big one and it's just what was left of the big one. And it fell in.
I don't know.
This is really far fetched, but like, did you have your purse open underneath the ones at LCT and it just fell in because they have the small rolls?
You know,
Yeah.
The city
I
doesn't
like
have
a
the like
flap over
big
purse.
ones.
It's not like an open.
I think somebody's fucking with you.
I think so too.
Yeah, probably.
That's why I'm looking at you.
Me? Haven't even seen you.
Oh. Anyway,
It's the
It's
same
suspect.
person who ate all those
the muddy
snacks.
buddies.
Yeah.
I know. There's
Uh-huh.
a ghost in my house.
Yeah. Well, at least he wipes. We're hoping.
The cheap stuff. It's kind of rip
Oh,
that-
yeah.
Quarter
Cardboard.
ply, quarter ply.
Oh, it's like corporate toilet paper.
It's not even half ply.
Anyway, way off topic. But,
Interesting.
you know, if you guys have any thoughts for me as to where the toilet paper came from, I'd love to know.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
will noodle on that, as they say, but I don't know. This feels like somebody's definitely fucking with you.
Okay.
Like, no, of course I didn't do that, Mom.
No.
You know?
No, but okay. It's not our toilet paper. That's the thing that's confusing.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
homecoming just happened recently. Did any of the kids bring toilet paper to homecoming and just
That was
decide
like a
to leave
week
it?
ago.
It was like a week ago.
And you just
Like
found
I'd
it.
been in my purse all day the day
Oh, okay,
before.
okay.
It was when I woke up the next morning.
Was my only other thought.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, back
Or
to you.
do you have a ghost?
Wow.
Who likes toilet paper that's not in your house?
Maybe Francis did it.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It's
I
a
don't
mystery.
know.
Toilet
It
paper
is
always a
mystery.
problem at LCT, so it's a little
It
ironic.
is. Yeah. It's always a little short in supply.
Yes.
Locked up.
Listen, there was definitely, and paper towels, there was definitely a time during LCT where I had to like bust into the paper towel roll holder and replace it in the middle of a show.
Yes. That was not that long ago.
Like the city
Yeah.
handed it to me and was like, all right, you put it in. I was like,
Well,
okay.
it's because they're guys. They can't go in the girls' bathroom.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, here you go.
Yeah.
That's
Ericka,
okay.
can you help me?
Yeah.
I tried to get into it, but I couldn't.
Oh yeah, you were like, I don't know how to get into it. I was like, oh,
They
I worked
had
at a
that
Planet
all
Fitness. I
locked
had to
up.
do this all the time. I was
Yeah.
Jeez.
Apparently, I've never changed one of those.
There's
Yeah, I
instructions
just
on the
needed, like, a
inside. It's
key.
like feed it through this thing and then pull it down.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess
just
if you
put it
need
on
your paper
top.
towels changed at LCT, let me know.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna call
Good job.
Ericka.
I call
Yeah.
myself the volunteer extraordinaire because I do all sorts of weird stuff while
I
I'm there.
know. Yeah, once
Yeah,
you start
it's all
knowing
good
how to
stuff.
do things and you're Everybody calls on you for everything.
Yeah.
You're always volunteering too.
I am.
Like every show, right?
Yes.
So I at least try to come to like every show once, and then any show that Keaton's in, I try to go to as many as I can. Mostly because like I never know when he's gonna get to do a show again because our work schedules are so busy. So that's why I was at every Margaritaville show, including preview. So, but I try to like switch up what tasks I do. I have finally done every single volunteer task. The last one I had to do was parking.
Oh,
So
God bless you.
That's the worst one.
Especially in summer.
I used
Oh.
this is gonna sound so like egotistical or full of myself, but I used to make the joke that I was too pretty for parking. So I think Keaton signed us up for it, and I was like,
Eh.
Yeah, that's usually when I
My
avoid.
kids have been voluntold to do parking, and now they hide whenever Bernadette is doing house because she's the one that sought them out.
Jeez.
Parking. Where's the parking people?
They're like, no, we're not here. I'm like, she knows you're volunteering. Like, I had to tell her.
Yeah, so you're here somewhere.
I got lucky.
Birds are
I
awfully
know,
loud
they're
today.
really chatty.
They are. Maybe they're trying to tell you about the toilet paper.
They probably are. Ghost talk.
I know.
I got lucky during Margaritaville. Both times I signed up for parking, I got moved off of it. The first time it was downpouring, like thunder and lightning. It was that really, really stormy show, and I was like, nice. So
Yes.
I think I ushered because like none of the ushers showed up. It was weird. And then the second weekend, I was raffle and ushering because the raffle person had to leave, and they were also down an usher, so I just did both.
There you go.
Pop right in.
Yeah.
Multiple hats.
I'm always afraid to usher because I can't see without my glasses. I don't want to wear my strap on.
It's only Lily
So I
Kate
avoid
that gives
that
you a
job.
hard time with that.
The first time I ushered, it was Hounds of Baskerville, and it was back when we had like, it was during COVID, so we had like the list, and you just like check them off and then brought them to their seats, and I was like, I'll be taking the clipboard because I don't know how this house is seated.
Right.
Which, and if you've never ushered at LCT, the house is set up very weird in terms of numbers. So
I've
like,
never noticed.
Yeah,
So
I
it's-
don't think I
it's-
have either.
so it's
Yeah,
A
me
to
neither.
Q, and then the center of the house is 101 through 104, and then I'm gonna mix this up. I know I will. If you're standing, like talking about like house seating, not like from the stage left and right, but house right is like 1, 3, 5, 7,
Oh, yeah.
9, and then house left is 2, 4, 6, 8. People always come up to me and they're like, "Why aren't we seated together?" I'm like, "No, you are." The numbering is just really weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I never.
So
I don't think
Never
I had
noticed.
noticed it before, but like I have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you've just sat down and not thought.
Yeah,
that
no.
hard. You
When
haven't
you're
There was
processed
no
it.
real processing that happened with it.
Yeah.
rushing
It's like, here we go.
becomes a thing. And I was gonna say, I remember once during Rudolph, actually, someone stole mine and Keaton's seats.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
We had to get moved because they wouldn't move.
Oh no.
I got free concessions out of it. I got free Nemo tickets out of it. It worked out
Wow.
fine. But we had third row seats to see the Bumble puppet. We got moved from
Oh,
like.
Ah,
Yes,
yeah,
Bumble.
Bumble.
We literally were so hyped for Rudolph. We were like, "Woo, woo, woo, woo."
Wasn't Bumble awesome? That was
He
a
was.
fun Bumble.
Yeah. Yeah. We did
was
Bumble
killer.
with Chris. Yeah. He was great.
Feels like forever.
Chris
now.
wanted to take the puppy.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was like,
And now,
seriously?
Here's the train.
Hello, train.
Yeah.
Do my friends.
it's a long one.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Sometimes. Oh no! Don't brake.
Why are you hitting on the
I
brake?
know,
Keep
right?
going. Don't brake.
Not necessary.
It's Sunday morning. That's what the birds are saying too. Yeah. They just hit the gas. They're like,
This is a mile-long train. I'm sorry.
So it's now 1 p.m. The train is still going.
Hey, there it goes.
I had a total Disney
dang.
flashback for a minute. Didn't something there just sound like something at Disney?
Yes, I was thinking
Probably
that too. I was like, mine
the two things I can
train.
think of is there is Mine Train is the
That's what it is.
Thunder,
there's
Mountain.
so the Walt Disney World Railroad just came back after like a
Love
4
that thing.
5 year hiatus. I don't remember. It was closed when I moved here, so I don't know when it originally closed, but it's been closed.
Oh wow, yeah.
The
no,
entire
we
time
know
I've
that.
been here until like January or February of this year it reopened, and then Big Thunder Mountain sounds a lot like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Because they're always like
It's
hard on the
screechy.
brakes.
Yeah.
Because you come into the station stop and you're like banging your head on the mine cart in front of you.
Because it's like one of the, I mean, there's not that many wooden roller coasters still around, right? Like,
I don't think
like
it's
a thing. Is it
wooden.
not
I just
wooden?
think it like goes. I think it just goes really fast for the track it's on, and when it comes into the station, it just comes in real hot.
It does.
I don't know.
Slam on the brakes.
I don't work in attractions, so I don't really know. But all I
Yeah.
know is like when I'm riding it, I'm like holding on because I don't want to smash my head into anything.
Yeah.
I gotta Google that because I feel like
She's like,
So,
"Gotta do
how long
research."
have you been at Disney?
I have worked at Disney unofficially for 4 years, but in November it'll be 4 years, and they thankfully bridged my time when I was laid off due to COVID.
Okay.
They technically I didn't work there for like 18 months, but like
Wow.
they bridged it all together. And to be honest, the training there is so well done and so just like thorough that none of it left me. When I came back and did my refresh days, like it was like I hadn't left. It was awesome. But yeah, so I have worked for the Walt Disney Company, specifically Walt Disney World, for 4 years. I started on the Disney College program, and I was on the spring 2019 program because they used to do it in seasons at the time. And then I extended 2 months into July, and then I knew I didn't want to go back home because I'm from Vermont, and Vermont is beautiful, but in the 22 years I lived there, I did everything I needed to do. I recently went back and was like, yep, there's still nothing to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Still not regretting that.
Yeah.
Change.
I mean, nice to see family, but I also was like, everything I can do here, I can also do at home. And also, there's theme parks there. So,
Right.
so.
and beautiful weather
And yeah.
for like
the,
2 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
The 1 week I was in Vermont, they had a heat wave. I was like, are you kidding
Oh
me?
my gosh, are
I
you
like
kidding?
couldn't escape. It was hot there too. I was like, no.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so after my college program, I went seasonal, but I still worked pretty full-time hours, and then got part-time in November, and then COVID things happened. I came back, and I went from part-time to full-time, and I've been full-time at Disney ever since.
Nice.
And I work in costuming, so very theater adjacent.
Yeah, definitely.
We work with entertainment. Technically, we're not a part of Disney Parks Live Entertainment, but we work very closely with them. So, yeah.
So let's go back to the college program.
Yeah.
How does that all work? Because I keep hearing about it and I don't
Yeah.
really know much about it.
So the Disney College program, the application process is a little bit different from when I did it. So I'll describe how I did it, and then I'll tell you the changes I'm aware of. I don't quite know everything, but their website, I think it's disneyprograms.com, is super, super informative. So I applied for the Disney College program in August of 2018 for the spring program. And with that, I did the application. They ask for job experience. And then if they see your application and they want to know more about you, they'll send you a web-based interview. So it's just one of those, like, it's just like almost like a personality test, but in terms of like your work ethic. And then after that, you'll either be asked to schedule a phone interview or you're no longer in consideration. I thankfully got a phone interview, and then you'll schedule it for a date and a time, and then you'll have a phone interview with a recruiter, and they'll ask you about like what you're interested in. They'll ask you about specific roles you put interest in. And what was funny was the recruiter did not even ask me about costuming, but I knew I wanted costuming so badly that when she asked me, she was like, what role do you think you would be great in? I don't think I let the woman talk for like 7 minutes. Because I was like, costuming, because I was doing costuming in college at the time. And I really, really liked it. So I was like, I want to do costuming at Disney, blah, 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 blah.
For 7 minutes, she didn't shut up, and the recruiter was like, okay. Listen.
I think she wants to do
I need you to take
costuming.
that down a notch
What I hear you
for the
saying.
interview.
Yes.
The roles she asked me about were merchandise, attractions, specifically parking was looped into attractions at the time.
Oh,
Okay.
Because she saw I could drive cargo vans, so she's like, you want to drive the
wow.
trams? And I was like, I would do anything to work for Mickey Mouse, so I don't really care.
put me on
However,
a tram.
However, yeah. Lifeguarding, but I was immediately like disapproved from lifeguarding because at the time they had the really strict tattoo policy. And like, I don't remember which, I think it was my ankle tattoo was the issue. Like if my sock fell off while I was saving someone, I was now violating the
Oh my
tattoo
gosh. Oh my
policy.
goodness.
I
they have
don't
that.
remember specifically.
Yeah, I didn't think about
specifically,
It's changed?
it has changed, yeah.
Okay.
We can talk a little bit more about that because it changed during 2020 and it came like as a huge surprise to everybody. But it's really, really good changes in my opinion. So, lifeguarding, I don't remember. She asked me about like way more roles than they normally ask you about. They usually pick like 3. And then I talked about like why I wanted to be in costuming. And then you just kind of wait until they either send out an offer letter or you check your dashboard and it says NLIC, no longer in consideration.
Okay.
And they don't tell you why, but you have the chance to apply for the next season as well. I got lucky and I was what's known as one and done, applied once, got in, and like didn't have to go through it again.
Oh, perfect.
One of my friends who was in costume with me, I think applied like 6 times.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Took her multiple times to get in. But she said it was so worth it. And I still talk to her to this day.
And this is all in the college experience.
This is all in the college
Okay.
program, yeah.
It's kind of funny because I think like Disney overall probably operates like that. I remember when I applied for them, they were like that.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, I see that you're interested in this. You know, would you be, you know, interested in taking this kind of job or whatever? And I remember that.
Yeah.
Even in the regular job, not the summer program stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And then at the time when you got your offer letter, it would tell you what role you got. Now it doesn't. Now they don't tell them what role they got in their offer letter. They find out when they get their like arrival itinerary.
So you either want to work for the mouse or you don't.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
not like I will not
interesting.
take that role.
Yeah. But I actually,
Ooh.
it's
I'm
my.
not sure I like that. Like not
No.
knowing.
Yeah.
You just
I don't
go in
know.
there
I
blind.
wasn't a part of that. This was 2018, so I got lucky.
You knew.
Yeah, it's like garbage or, you know, I mean,
I
they
mean,
don't call
look,
it.
the people that work at Disney
janitorial.
all want to be there.
Yeah, they
Like,
do.
I don't think I've ever seen an employee be like, I absolutely hate this place.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wouldn't
I'm sure
it be
it
a gateway
happens,
to
but-
another job? Like if you get accepted in a certain place, then you can, you know, work in other areas eventually, or are you kind of streamlined?
A lot of people do the college program to get into working at Disney. For example, a lot of the Disney professional internships, which is like kind of like, I hate calling it like a step up from the college program, but the college program is all like hourly roles like in the parks and resorts, and then the professional internships are more like closer to like salaried positions almost. So like there's a show writer one for Imagineering. There's a ton of professional internships for Imagineering, and a lot of them require that you've done a Disney college program.
Okay.
Because they want you to have
I
a
should tell
base
Michaela that.
knowledge of the
yeah.
of the operation
inner
and how
workings.
Yeah.
how like
And
the
the
Disney
culture,
way works.
probably.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Or some people do it because they're like, I want to be in leadership at Disney, so they slowly work their way up, sort of thing. I just knew I didn't want to be in Vermont anymore. Sorry to my family. I love you guys. It was just like so boring. And my mom told me she knew like when I drove away from the hotel, because she came down with me when I moved down. Like I drove away from the hotel and she called my dad and she was like, yeah, she's not coming back. So they're like, they're like, give it a few months. She'll call us with her plan to not return home. She was right. I called her.
Now, were you already done with college, or this was in between? When did you do this? Okay.
So it is crazy how fate works out.
Yes.
So at the time I was going to the Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, tiny school in the Berkshires. And I was studying arts management. I had started as like a broadcast major, and then I realized I was like, I am more into like the theater side of things than like the broadcasting side of things. Because I worked at a news station for a little bit at some point.
Okay.
And so I switched into arts management, which
Just another one.
Yeah.
Just slide that
I
in.
know. I think I'm gonna get my own job title wrong. I was the like floor manager for the AM show, so I would set up the like kick monitors and the cameras, and
Okay.
they had these screens that flipped around, like it was orange for the morning show and blue for the night show, so I'd flip them around and set up chairs on their like B stage and run the teleprompter. And then when I wasn't doing like teleprompter stuff, I had to do closed captioning for one of the like local shows. So I'd just sit there and scroll through and look at the auto captions and be like, yeah, that's really wrong. But it was just, I was pacing it for the show. So like, it was a nice 4 hours every morning. That was the summer I had like 3 jobs though. So like, I don't remember a lot of it because I would go straight from there to like working at a summer camp
Oh my gosh.
or like lifeguarding at my local pool. So it was a lot. I don't know why I did that to myself. I think I worked like 70
were
hours a
young
week.
Probably why she wanted to
Yeah.
get out of Vermont.
Yeah, right.
She's like, I'm out of here.
Literally. But
You look like you're like 21, and I feel like you have life experience like you're 55.
I know, it's really bizarre.
I will
It's
take
confusing.
21 considering I'm 26, and I just think about the fact that 30 is only 4 years away, and I crawl under the table.
She coming.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh no,
like,
you're
let me
still
just
a baby.
let me hide. Yeah.
Oh no, that's awesome.
I'm mildly offended when I don't get carded at Publix. I'm like,
Oh, I still.
do I look that old to you? It's like 50-50 whether I
I haven't
get
been carded
carded.
in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Okay, so you were going to college.
yeah,
in the
so I was going to
Berkshires.
college. And
Thanks, Kathy.
Sorry, see,
Thank you.
crazy. I know.
I
I'm sorry.
definitely forgot what we were talking about. I was like, someone's got to loop me back in. I was like, I used to have a really, really good memory. Now I have the memory of Dory. So like,
We tend to do that to people.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do.
You
We
can-
squirrel them out.
license to squirrel all you want, because I do it too. Listen, I'm a big fan of the podcast. That's how I had to be on. But had I not done the college program, I would have graduated college early, which was saying something because I actually took like a gap year after my freshman year because I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't want my loans to kick in, so I went to cosmetology school. So I have my cosmetology license in 2 different states. I actually have to renew them both.
Oh my god.
Um,
I feel so inadequate.
I know.
I'm just a teacher.
I know.
That's all I got.
You're brave.
She's done a lot of stuff for 26.
I
Like,
know.
it's really weird.
I have my license in both
She's put me to
Florida.
shame.
I know.
I have my Cosmo license in both Florida and Vermont. I don't really use it that much. Like my friends sometimes will be like, I got my hair cut and it looks really bad. Can you fix it? I'm like, yeah, just come over.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
I could do cosmetology at Disney if I wanted to, but I really love my costuming family, so I have like anytime I think about it, I'm like, but I don't want to leave because I love them.
That'd be
So
cool. Do makeup and stuff for them, like character makeup.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Interesting. No. Okay.
So, had I not done the college program when I did it, I actually would have graduated early, which was really baffling to me as someone who like changed majors and took a gap year. I don't know how, but I also have
And
to
work 3 jobs.
Yeah. Well, when I
Sounds
was
like you were working
when I was
your
in
ass
college,
off.
I would only work like 2. I
Okay.
also took.
Only 2.
I usually
Only.
took 18 to 21 credits each semester because I was bored with 15. I would take like 6 or 7 classes.
What's wrong with you?
I need to be mentally stimulated.
You have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how, but here I am. Maybe it's the venti Starbucks sitting next to me. Who's to say?
Yeah.
Had a caffeine problem since 16, so.
Same, dude.
So, but had I graduated early, I would have graduated the fall of 2019 and done the college program in spring 2020, which was the
Oh.
class that got sent home
Oh,
6
no.
weeks after the program started because of COVID.
How devastating.
Yeah.
I know.
Can you imagine? Oh gosh.
So yeah, fate
There's
is-
someone from LCT who was in the spring 2020 program.
Oh, really?
And he got sent home, all 45 minutes back to Lakeland, but he came back and did another program as a character attendant. So,
Oh, good.
Oh, okay, that's good.
but yeah, so I wanted to do it in spring of 2019. And I was like, I'll just graduate on time with my class. And originally my class had been like the class of 2019, but then of course I got pushed back a year. So I was like, I'll just be in the class of 2020. And halfway through my program, I was like, I'm not going home, so I need to figure out how I'm going to finish my degree, because I was a junior at the time, or junior or first semester senior, I can't remember which one, because my credits were like in between. I was a part-time student while I was on the college program, so I took a 6-credit internship class through my school. Because my school was so small, I could work out a lot of stuff with them. So my school did, like at the time, and I don't think they do now, didn't do like online classes because it was so small. Like they don't have like the instructors to do it. It's not like a UCF where you can do a whole degree online and it's fine. So I had to do research into like what I could do to stay. And the one thing I found that would also transfer my credits, because that was another thing, was like, okay, I went to school in Massachusetts. How am I going to get my credits to transfer equally? Because at the time I had 96 credits. I think is what I was at when I went on the college program. And so I was like, I did so much research when I wasn't working, and I found the University of Massachusetts Amherst has a degree completion program. It's an adult ed program, and you basically create your own major. They also have an arts management program, but I knew I wasn't going to take enough classes in their arts management program to graduate with that degree. So I was like, I will get a degree in interdisciplinary studies with a concentration in arts and culture administration. So that is how I worked around that.
Oh my gosh.
And I was in their adult ed program, and I very much remember I was taking 4 classes at the time while also working like full-time hours at Disney. I was doing like holidays. And one of the professors was like, "You're taking way too many classes. You need to drop them, blah, blah, blah." I was like, respectfully, no, I want to graduate. Thanks for your concern. Been a college student for like 5 years now.
Over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to
She
be
was-
done now, please.
Yeah.
Well, and which I don't think she realized, like, so I was in the adult education program, which was basically like, oh, they took some college classes and then they had kids and couldn't finish, sort of thing. Like, that's what the program was. I literally was just like trying to get a degree. Like, I was just trying to like finish.
Oh, there we go.
Start the music.
Back
Yeah.
at the joinery.
She's trying to get you like some work-life balance.
Really loud.
And
Yeah.
you're like, I just want to work. Like,
I was like,
don't
I
need
just
a
wanna
life
be
right
right.
now. Yeah.
Can we just hold these?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Make it better.
So then,
Sorry, Chris. I know he's gonna help edit the sound for this.
we love you,
Challenge for you,
Chris. You're the
Chris.
best.
Yeah.
So then I was taking 16 credits, and then I had to take a winter semester, like a 4-week course, because I don't know why, but they would only take like 75 of my credits. Like when I transferred, it was weird. So I had to I went from being, I think it was a first semester senior, back to a junior.
Oh
had to
my
go
gosh.
back again. But I was like, I will be graduating. I don't care.
Yeah.
I
and
was
you're
working-
not going back to Vermont.
Yeah, no. And I was
Staying here.
and I was working full-time hours at Disney during their holiday season. Mostly I was working on Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade. I don't even know the title of the own parade I work on. Goodness gracious. So it's a lot of like long hours.
Yeah.
But it is so much fun.
Aw.
So, I'd get home like really, really late at night and like bust out an essay and go to bed and get up like 6 hours later and do it all again.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Look,
the
the sound went off.
look at that. The credits that
The
didn't
people in the
trans-
front were probably like, yeah, kill that.
Oh, yeah, 'cause you're doing like a real
Somebody's
thing
up there recording something.
Yeah, they're doing a realtor show. We asked them.
Oh, you
Oh,
did
okay.
ask? Okay.
And by
Yeah.
we mean Kathy asked them.
Yeah,
Of course
I
you did.
I was being a nosy body. Imagine that. But yeah.
The credits that didn't transfer over were my science credits, which like technically one of my science credits I'd gotten at MCLA was me walking into the like head instructor of chemistry's office and was like, I don't want to take a science with a lab. Can I write a paper on why perming and coloring hair counts as intro to chem with a lab?
That's
And he was
perfect.
like, if you can figure it out, yeah. And then I used the word ammonium thioglycolate and he was like, yep, you're good. So
Name drop.
Here's your credit.
and that's how I got my 4-credit science with a lab.
Wow.
Excused. I didn't get like credits for it, but I got it like excused.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have to take the class. I was like, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I basically had to take science again when I transferred to UMass. And my last semester of senior year, I had a 15-credit, oh my gosh, what was it? I keep wanting to say portfolio, but that's not it. Capstone. I had to do, plus like the classes on top of it. And thankfully for me, there was a pandemic. So I didn't have to
lots of
work
time on your
anymore.
hands.
I just got to sit at home and do school.
Wow.
And both my roommates who I lived with at the time had like gone home, so I just had the apartment to myself and I would just sit there and do homework. The thing that took the most research was I did one of my arts management classes got like canceled 3 days before it started. So they were like, if you want to do like a senior thesis with the dean of continuing ed, you're just going to write like what you want to do for your senior thesis and then it'll get approved or disapproved and then you do it and hand it in. So I said I was going to write a 20-page thesis paper with like a photo page and a works cited and like cover page and all that. And they were like, cool, what are you going to write it on? And I was like, oh, the Muppets.
I could write a paper. on
I
that.
wrote a
Yeah, all the
20-page paper
That's awesome.
about basically the Muppets, but like it was the Jim Henson Company as well as children's television workshops like Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And I did, and I got a 100 on it, I think.
That's an,
So-
I want to read
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
I have it somewhere.
Oh, I totally want to read that.
What's really sad, that's the only piece of college work I have because 3 days after I graduated, my laptop died. So I lost everything I wrote in college
Oh.
except for
Back
that
up,
paper.
kids, back up.
Because in a freak thing, I had sent it to someone to read, like through like Facebook Messenger, and then that's the only thing I have is my
no.
Muppet paper.
Oh, that's so sad.
Right, you got that degree.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all this while doing
Yes.
the intern. How long is the program, the Disney intern
It
college
ki-
program?
It kind of depends. My program was originally 4 months. I opted in for the 4-month program because I didn't know if I was going to like it, and that was the first time I'd been like super far away
Yeah,
from
I guess we
family.
could clip it back on, can't we?
Oh yeah.
Since they turned the sound
Figure
off.
it out.
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry,
perfect.
Chris. So
Mostly.
I
They
had
get flipped out.
Floppy.
I know. I don't know what to do about it.
You're sagging.
There you go.
it's fine.
It's just gonna flip back out again.
You need a strap on for that thing.
Maybe that's what we should do.
Yeah.
To get like little necklaces for them, and then we just wear the necklaces.
Yeah, that would be
That's
fun.
what they
Like
do
Naked
on like
and Afraid?
the Circle, or like on Big Brother. They'll wear the like they clip to their shirts, but they'll wear it around their necks and clip it when they're like not wearing a shirt.
Oh.
Because they have to be mic'd anytime they're not like sleeping or showering, basically.
gosh.
So,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, Big Brother's an
Talking hours
interesting show.
about Yeah.
You also have to commit to it because it's 3 days a week. So, yeah, Sunday, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
It airs 3 times a week?
Yeah, it's 3 days a week.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh wait. Okay, let's circle back
I
to
know.
that.
We
I'm
got it.
excited on that. Okay, so
Don't get Kathy
the
started
Disney.
on
Yeah,
that.
I'm trying to stay focused here, and there's so many things I want to talk about.
know.
Okay.
Okay, so
and then how does that work? Do they ship you down here? Like fly you down? Do they provide you a place to stay? Like, do you have spending money? What does that work all?
So,
Look like?
again, I'll speak from my old experience and then like compare it back to what I know from the new program.
Yeah.
Not that it's like new, but it's kind of changed. So, at the time, you would get your acceptance letter, and you could preference whether you want to be, at the time it was spring or spring advantage, and there was also fall and fall advantage, and then there was summer alumni, but you could only do summer alumni if you had done a college program before.
Sure. Hence alumni. Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense.
So, and you can also extend your program for up to a year. It's just barely under a year. Like, they have to end your program like right before there, because you're considered a temporary employee. So if
Okay.
you're there for a full year, it's like all sorts
It's
of
like jail versus prison. Just,
Pick your poison.
if it's under a year, you're jail. If it's over a year, you're prison.
See,
I
didn't know
had
that.
no idea there was that distinction.
I
but
did
that's
not
funny.
know that. I just figured it's all orange suits and dropping the soap. I wasn't sure that there's a difference.
Well, I can assure you, the Disney the Disney College program is not like prison or jail. So don't think that, kids. So I opted to do.
Sorry. We haven't recorded in a couple weeks.
She's all
Yeah.
Okay. I opted to do the spring program because it was the furthest I'd been away from my family ever. Like, I'd gone to school in Massachusetts, but it was 2 hours away. So if I was ever like really didn't want to pay for laundry, I'd just drive home and make my mom do it, and then like come back down. Or like I could drive home for Thanksgiving, and it wasn't like a huge thing. So I did the 4-month program just in case I like hated it and didn't want to be there any longer, because the Advantage program was 8 months. So I was like, if I hate it, like at least I'm only there for 4 months. And of course I didn't hate it because I never left. Surprise! So what happens is you'll get your acceptance letter, and they usually send them out about up until like 2 months before the program start, and you used to pick your arrival date, and now I think they can pick their arrival and their departure date. But you used to pick your arrival date, and everyone's departure date like was the same. So if you were spring, I remember our departure date was like May 16th. So everyone who was on the 4-month program all left at that time. And if you were Advantage, I think theirs was like August 1st. So everyone who had been on the 8-month program was going to leave August 1st. Again, with the new program, I think they pick their arrival and their departure date, but I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
Again, you're going to want to go onto the Disney Programs website and look at that if you are interested in the college program. So then, as it got closer, I had to figure out how to get myself down to Florida. So for me, I was like, I've never taken like public transportation in my life. And they do have buses for you if you don't want to like bring your car to drive to work. And it's, you pay a transportation fee anyway. So you can take the buses, which I did end up doing once I figured out like how to do it. But I was like, I don't want to take the bus to get groceries. So I was like, Dad, we're bringing my car down. He was like, no, we're not. And I was like, yeah, we are. So I figured out how to get it down there. Which what I did was I took what's called the auto train. I don't know if
auto train's fantastic.
Yeah, so I drove from Vermont to
It's like
Virginia,
Virginia, yeah.
which that is a whole story in itself. My mom's gonna listen to this and be like, oh, not this story again. Something had been wrong with my GPS all night. I think I had it set to no tolls previously, and I forgot to turn it off. So it kept trying to like get me off the highway. So I had to have my mom like read the directions to me. And we drove overnight. Should preface. We drove from like, it was like 8 p.m. to like 8 a.m. This was supposed to be an 8-hour trip, turned into 12. And it was because of this one thing, which was my mom was taking a picture of the moon and didn't give me instructions on which ramp to take to get on the turnpike, because like the signs outside New York City don't say like Jersey Turnpike. That's just like what it's called.
Oh,
and she was like, follow
yes.
the GPS, and I got on the wrong ramp. So I added 3 hours to our trip.
Oh,
and
man.
I don't let her live
That'd be a
it.
good
I don't
where,
let her live
where
it down.
did you end up at for 3 hours when you finally realized we're going the wrong direction?
So we knew we were
Like Ohio?
We knew we had missed the turnpike. She was like, "You took the wrong ramp." I was like, "You were taking a picture of the moon." Like, it's not my fault. And I remember I'm an Aries, so I'm very stubborn. So I was gonna once we got on the turnpike, they have gas stations like on the highway. The next gas station we came to, I was gonna switch with her, and I was like, well, clearly the moon lady can't be trusted. I have to drive the rest of the way.
Oh my gosh.
My mom can be a trusted driver, but I was very, very mad at that point because I knew, I was like, oh, this is gonna take so much longer to get there.
Can you not just get off and get?
Yeah.
You have to drive like around the turnpike for a really long time before you can get back on. So we ended up in Pennsylvania instead of like New Jersey. We had to get on the New Hope Bridge, which I called the Lost Hope Bridge because I'd lost all hope at that point.
Oh.
You have to pay to get on this bridge too. I was like, what the heck?
New Hope's really pretty though. It's a great little town.
It's-
obviously at 2 a.m. it's not, but
In the middle of the night, yeah. It was great.
On a 3-hour detour.
yeah,
And then
not so much.
We finally
Nothing's
got
pretty.
back on, and I remember we'd been driving all night. And at the time, the car I had at the time, like my headlights were really dim, so I had to drive with my high beams the whole night. So sorry to anyone who passed me, probably got blinded because I couldn't see otherwise. And I remember we were like outside of like DC, and DC's really close to where the like auto train station is. And I like looked at my mom and was like, "Can I turn my headlights off now? I think the sun's up, but I can't tell."
Oh.
Because I've been driving all night, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you can turn your headlights off." And I was like, just turned them off and kept driving. And we didn't book a hotel before we got there just because we didn't know what day we were going down. Because there was of course, I picked the one arrival date that had a snowstorm heading that weekend.
Oh my god.
It was when Winter Storm Harper like just flew up the East Coast, so we didn't know like what weather we were gonna get. So
We're not familiar with winter storms.
no.
Nope.
Well,
Not here.
so that was the other issue was it.
The nor'easter.
It was at the time I had my winter tires on my car, and I had to put my summer tires back on and drive in like the ice and snow to Virginia. Which like my winter tires there's 2 types of studs you can have on your tires. There's metal and there's rubber, and I had metal studs because Vermont you get wicked like black ice. And it doesn't necessarily like prevent you from going off the road, but it helps you grip the road better when there's at least like snow on it. Like if the plows haven't gone out yet, you can at least like get somewhere. But I had to put my summer tires back on, which they were all season tires anyway, so it had some grip, but I was like all the way until I like didn't see snow, and I was like, all right, we're in the clear.
I would have been terrified.
Yeah.
But we got
Yeah, I don't even
Never
like
driven
driving in
in
the
stuff like
rain,
that.
let alone.
we like got to this hotel, and my mom went in and was like, my daughter just drove for 12 hours, please give us a room. And they're like, we got continental breakfast, come on in. And I'm literally sitting in the car just like staring into the void, like just exhausted. And my mom came out and was like, they have free breakfast. And I was like, okay. Like, got out of the car. And but yeah, so with the auto train, you pay for yourself and however many passengers. I brought my mom down with me. And then you pay for your car, and your car counts as your luggage. So like you can have a carry-on on the train, like so you can bring like a backpack or something.
Yeah, and then you pack the crap out of
then
your
you-
car.
Right.
Yeah.
Shove it in
Yeah.
there.
I just packed like everything in my
you
car.
needed for your apartment. You
Yeah.
had packed it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And also it was anything my mom needed because my mom flew back.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys stay like in the regular seats, or did you get one of those little rooms?
we stayed in the regular seats.
Okay, gotcha.
Just because like it was already like pretty expensive like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
move down there and all that. So
Yeah.
we just stayed in the regular seats. And what was funny was so I didn't like sleep fully through the
Is
night.
that another train?
It's the auto
Speaking of
train.
train, they heard me talking smack.
did.
I'll show you a train.
She
They
conjured
sound
it.
like they're just sneaking up.
I know. There might be stopping.
I feel like it's that way.
It sounded
Oh,
like
is it that way?
sounded that way to me.
Oh, I don't know.
But what was funny was I woke up in each state, so I took like a little Instagram story in each state overnight. And then we got there early, so like the ground crew hadn't got there yet, so we had to like sit on the train for like an hour and a half before we could get off because they were switching crews. They do feed you on the train, like they give you dinner, and then you have like a breakfast option. It's like, you know, pre-wrapped pastries, and you can get coffee and stuff. And then when my mom and I got off the train, the thing that stinks is the earlier you load your car, the last your car
ferry.
will come off. So then we sat there for like another 30 minutes waiting for them to like, they give you like a 4-digit code that's like taped onto your car. So we were just waiting for my car to come off. And
Where
then
does
we,
it come into?
Sanford.
Oh.
So just an
Yeah.
hour outside Orlando.
That's not too bad.
A lot of
Yeah.
people call it the snowbird train because it's, you know, really
Yeah.
for like the elderly.
Right,
I say
bring
it's
their
for the
cars
elderly
down.
and the Disney College program, because when I went, it was literally all the snowbirds and then a bunch of college program kids who wanted to have their car but didn't want to drive it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We were looking into it to do over Thanksgiving to Williamsburg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With the
it's
kids and
in,
stuff.
I can see the name of the town in my head, but I cannot tell you what it is, where it lands in Virginia, but it's just outside of DC.
Yeah.
Because we
it's not
like
bad.
drove around DC and then we were there.
It's like an hour from
So
Williamsburg.
did you have to get your own apartment, or they have housing, or?
So yeah, they have housing for the college program. Right now it's the Flamingo Crossings Village, so they have a set of apartments that's east and a set that's west. They're like across the street from each other. So they have those apartments. At the time, I was in the old apartments, so it used to be Vista Way, Chatham Square, Patterson Court, and the Commons. You can opt out of housing if you want. Like, so there are some kids who like they live here in Lakeland and they'll do the college program and they'll just commute. Or some people just it's their third program and they don't want to live in housing anymore, so they'll just like
Get their
rent a
own.
room or something. Yep. Me being me, I was like, nope, housing.
Yeah. Is it all Disneyfied, like a hotel, like Mickey's everywhere? And
Not quite. At the time, at least at like Vista Way, they had what was called the Learning Center. So like you'd go in and that's where you'd like pick up your packages, or you could like borrow a Swiffer. And then in the like Learning Center, there was like a library, and they had like every single Disney movie. They had board games, and they had like computers and stuff. So that's where people would go and do like their schoolwork a lot of times. But it was always playing Disney movies, and they also do housing events. So like the welcome events were always like Disney-fied, if you will. So like my welcome event was a whole new world. So it was Aladdin themed. So we got to meet the genie, Jafar, and Abu. And then they also give you like free pizza, and there's like dance parties and games and free stuff. Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I went to like 7 welcome events
Oh, jeez.
because it was free. It's free food. So
Entertainment.
it was pizza every time, but it was free food, so I wasn't gonna say no.
That's the truth. And how many roommates did you have?
I had 5 roommates. I
Holy
wanted
jeepers.
cheap rent. So your rent, if you opt into Disney housing, comes out of your paycheck. So you don't even have to worry about like paying it, and it
Okay.
includes your utilities and everything. So I opted into the second cheapest housing, because the first cheapest housing at the time was known as Chatham Square 2-6, which was 2 bedrooms, 6 people. So there were bunk beds, and I was like, no, I did not want bunk beds. And you didn't get to necessarily choose your housing. You put in your housing preferences, and sometimes they'd let you request roommates. Sometimes you could request up to 3. Sometimes it was restricted down to 1. Like, it just kind of depended on like what the housing was at that time, because there's also like the international college program, so they all have to live in housing. So it was really like what they had available. So my group of 6 that had formed, we had to split into 2 groups and just hope they put us together, and thankfully they did. So I was in Vista Way 3-6, so 3 bedrooms, 6 people. So I had 1 in-room roommate, and then I had 4 other roommates. And the way the Vista Way apartments were set up was there was the first bedroom, and it had an ensuite bathroom, and then there was like the living room and the kitchen, and then like the dining area, and then there was the next bedroom, and then another bedroom, and then a bathroom, and then the sinks were they were always on the outside, so you could like get ready. And I had the earliest arrival date, like there, because you were assigned a check-in time. So I was like, I'm getting the room with the ensuite bathroom.
Yeah.
So I like took my backpack and like threw it down on the bed, because I had to go do my casting stuff. They call it casting, but it's like your onboarding. So I had to go and get like fingerprinted and like photographed and everything. If you'd like a good chuckle, I've had the same blue ID. So our IDs are blue. I've had the same blue ID since my college program.
Oh my gosh.
Look at you.
My eyes are closed. They didn't let me retake it. I don't think they're closed, but
That's funny.
so when you check in for the college program, you have to get your program ID, so that allows you to get into housing, not just your own housing, but the other housing properties to go to events.
Village.
What?
It's like the Olympic Village. You're all
Kind of,
living there
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
It sounds like my college dorm situation, to be honest with you. Except we didn't have ensuite bathrooms.
The housing IDs also allow you into the other housing developments if you're taking like classes. So they do offer classes with like, like you're doing one-on-ones with like leaders, or like say you want to go into communications, you'll have like a series of like 6 classes with like different people from the communications and marketing team. I never took those classes because I was busy with my own internship class and with working. I wanted to, but they also filled up like really fast. So I don't know too much about like the Disney offered classes, but
Yeah, so what were you actually, I'm confused. What were you actually learning? Like how to be a good Disney employee? Or?
So the college program is like, you come down and you work for Disney for however long, and you gain like the knowledge and the experience of like how Disney runs their business.
Okay.
They, like I said, they do offer like classes if you're looking to get like more one-on-one time with like leaders or different like departments, or just learn more about how the operation runs, maybe more in depth. For me, I just really loved my job, and I still do. So I was really focused on like working and making the connections within my area, and like becoming the best cast member I could be. And it very much has worked out for me, because I've become a costuming trainer, and now I'm also a sub coordinator, or another term for that is like a relief coordinator, for Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade.
Oh,
so I'm like the
cool.
backup coordinator, for
Nice.
costuming, for that venue specifically. And like, I still love my job as much as I did when I was sprightly at 21. So
So you do that for 4 months, and then you kind of roll into your costuming job, or?
So on my college program, I was costuming as well. I did operational costuming. So I did costuming for like the people you see like vending food, or like photo pass. They call everything at Disney is a show. So we're all called cast members instead of like employees, instead of uniforms, called costuming.
Okay.
Everyone gets a costume because they're all a part of the show. That's why we say like on stage versus backstage and stuff like that as well. And so I did operational costuming. So I helped all of our operational cast members who were serving our in-park guests be well dressed for their shift.
Do they have like?
That's awesome.
I've always wondered this. It's like
Yeah.
stupid things I think
No,
about.
no,
when
no,
I'm
I like
Disney. Does everybody have their own, or is it just like, okay, today I need to pick out this size of this and this size of this, or do you have your designated?
You come in and shop the line.
Okay.
So it's almost like a Kohl's. You come in and just like pick out what you need.
Okay.
And if you're having challenges
Every day?
finding costs, you are allowed to take your costumes home and wash them.
Okay.
Everyone is allotted like a certain amount. But you can either wash them or you can hand them back in. I wash my own because I, believe it or not, I don't have time to return my stuff to costuming. I'm a little busy. So I wash my own at home and I keep them. Also because like sometimes I have a hard time finding my pants because I wear like black cargo shorts, and that's a pretty popular costume worn. So I have a hard time finding them in my size. So I keep them and wash them, and until something like breaks on it, or until they're like too sun faded to be considered like in good show, basically, and then I hand them back in.
And
Same
start
with
picking up
my shirts, and I lose buttons on the shirts a lot, so like I'll bring them back and there's buttons on them, or sometimes they get like stains on them and stuff, so I'll just hand them back in if I can't get it clean myself. So on my college program, I did operational costuming, and then after that, I chose to stay. When your college program is over, you go home and you go back to your normal life and whatever. A lot of people get the post-Disney blues. They usually come back and at least visit within the year. A lot of my friends did. And for me, I wanted to stay. So there were a couple of ways of doing that. You can extend your program. So you can always try to extend in your role, like same role, same location. Same role, different location. Or you can do a different role. So like say I was in costuming and I was like, wow, I don't like being here. I'm going to go do attractions instead. I could preference to move to attractions. And it's just really where they have spots open. And then,
Like a transfer.
yeah, pretty much. And if you don't want to stay on the college program, but you want to stay with the company, you can apply for full-time, part-time roles. It's a little bit different now because like we were allowed to apply for like specific roles and locations. Now they just apply for full-time, part-time, and they find out what they're getting like 2 weeks before their program ends.
Wow.
So it's definitely changed.
It's quite the commitment,
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
you know?
So you could come out of the college program being in costumes, go to the part-time position that was open, and be, running Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Yeah. But like once you're in,
Roll the dice.
Yeah.
once you're in full-time, part-time, you can always try to transfer like back in. So we had someone I know recently, like she was in costuming and she got food and beverage, and then she put in to come back to costuming, and it took a couple of months, but she got it. It's
Yeah.
really just what has spots open, and costuming is a very, very like small department. small but mighty. I tell you what, some of the hardest workers I've ever worked with in my entire life.
I bet.
People
I
who
bet.
are like dedicated and love
That
their
park
jobs.
runs on that.
Costumers do
Yeah.
that.
How does that work pay scale wise? Like, let's say you're going in, you're like, okay, I need to make this amount of money or da 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 da, and I'm going to go work for the mouse. Like, and let's say you really want to be in this over here because you think the pay scale is one thing, but then they actually put you over here, or is it all pretty much the same type of pay scale?
So college program all makes the same,
Okay.
and it's like $1 less than being like full-time hourly.
Okay.
And then sometimes there are different pay up premiums depending on like what you're doing. So like if you're working like third shift for whatever reason, college program kids don't typically work third shift, but there's like third shift differentials.
Okay.
And then there's also like, I'm gonna say this, I don't know how true it is. I'm pretty sure if you work minivans, which is like have you ever seen like the polka dotted like Chevy Traverses around property? Like they look like Minnie Mouse.
Yeah.
Those are the mini vans. They're run through Lyft, but they're Disney. It's basically like Disney approved like
Uber
Lyft
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. So they're the only tipped college program roles, so they're allowed to keep their tips. And I think they make a little bit more because they're driving guests everywhere. There are also certain roles that like college program kids can't do.
Okay.
So like you can't be a bus driver on your college program. Like you cannot do.
I don't think you got your CDL or whatever, right? Like.
No. You can't do like you can do watercraft, but there's certain boats you can't drive.
Okay.
Basically.
The
Right.
ferry.
Yeah, you can't do cosmetology, even if you like have your license. So like, even though I had my license, I couldn't do cosmetology because it wasn't a role that was offered.
Is that when you say cosmetology, like getting the princesses ready, or like the Bippity Boppity Boutique?
So the Bippity Boppity Boutique is a college program role. They usually only accept like 10 to 15 kids each season though, because again, they're smaller than costuming. For cosmetology, it's more like the Harmony Barbershop.
Okay.
So like that sort of thing. Trying to think of other roles that they can't do.
What about like guest services or working at the hotels or anything like that?
So you can work at the resorts. Usually the roles that are open for college program kids at the resorts is like bell services, housekeeping, or some people affectionately call it mousekeeping. The mousekeepers, yeah.
It's like a
God, that's adorable.
Lifeguarding is, there's the water parks, but you can also lifeguard at the resorts. Children's activities, so the people who do like Mickey tie-dye and the campfires. Recreation is a role that's available, so that's like, they're the ones who like rent out like, I don't know, like the volleyballs or like the sports equipment to you. They're allowed to drive like the pontoon boats though, because
Okay.
that's a part of the recreation role. I don't know if it's still a role technically, but like pool attendant was another one. So like cleaning the pool deck and putting towels out and just making sure like it was orderly.
Okay.
Trying to think what other resort
Sounds
stuff.
like there's lots of opportunities.
Something
Yeah.
for
You
everybody,
know?
for sure.
I don't remember if concierge is a college program role or not, but I know concierge was an option. I don't remember. Maybe it's
Okay.
front desk I'm thinking of, because I had friends who did like front desk, and that is apparently one of the most intense trainings. Like it's like 2 or
Oh,
3
I
weeks
bet.
of training for
Oh, I
front desk.
bet, because that's a
Everybody
customer
happy.
service.
Vacation
yes.
planning is another one that has a lot of training because you have to learn every single like ticket package. So they just get to sit at the vacation planning booth to sell tickets all day.
Oh, we always
Air-conditioned
walk by those
gig.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Air conditioning.
Yeah.
So what
I
is your-
also don't really talk to vacation planning people, so it's okay. I only go there when I need to buy like discounted tickets, and I'm
Right.
like, hey,
Yeah.
here you go.
So, what does your day look like as working in the costume shop?
So, working in costuming, I really just focus on quality checking costumes to make sure they are in good show and they can go out and they're functional. So, like if something's missing a button, we'll set it aside to go get fixed, or if it's got like a really big, like our housekeeping cast members tend to get like bleach on their shirts a lot. So, we'll set those aside, and those will go for like a stain treatment sort of thing, and then just a lot of laundry, washing and drying a lot of clothes.
Can you talk about where it's located? Is this like in a warehouse? Is it?
There's different costuming locations across property.
Okay.
Do you get to use the tunnels?
I do get to use the tunnels. When I'm in entertainment costuming, I do get to use the tunnels. It kind of depends. Technically, I'm an entertainment costuming cast member.
So entertainment is, do you do any of the shows?
I used to work on Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair pre-COVID, and right now I work on Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time Parade.
Okay.
The other people I work somewhat closely with are the Dapper Dans and the Marching Band.
Okay.
But that's really about it. I'm trying to think. I used to do the Spirit of Aloha dinner show. That is no longer there because they're building
at the
they're building a
Polynesian?
DVC resort where it was, yeah.
Oh, we were there years ago.
Oh, here
It was
comes
so
the
much
train
fun.
again.
Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Take a
The
break.
coffee break.
Sorry, Chris.
I looked up at this and I was like, oh my God, what is that? And then I realized it's like rope.
Yeah, it's like a worm.
I thought it was a worm. Like a bug. It's going through so slowly.
At least it's shorter this time.
This one's slower than the last one.
I know, but at least it's little. And he's stopping.
Perfect.
Why is he stopping?
At least he shut off.
Sort of.
A little. He's like idling.
Yeah.
That was flat. Oh, goodness.
So, how many cast members are in your entertainment costuming section? How, like, roughly?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know.
Okay. So there's that many.
Yeah, there's a fair amount, but like I don't really have a good number.
Okay.
Because costuming is like so much bigger
Yeah.
than it
Huge.
looks.
Yeah.
Because
I can only
there's so
imagine.
many
Yeah.
like
Think about.
other aspects that go into it, and like if honestly if you are interested in like learning more about costuming, the people who are allowed to talk about it are the like VIP tour guides.
Okay, that
Or
makes sense.
not the VIP
Yeah,
tour
that's
guides, but the
cool.
tour guides. If
They
you
have
take
the
the
approved
keys,
top track.
if you take the keys to the Kingdom tour, they'll take you like through costuming.
I've wanted to do that.
Yeah.
You'll get
too.
to see me. Usually I
Oh,
just
cool.
wave at them.
Are you behind
Because
like a glass wall?
you don't ever see costuming like in the park. So usually if I have to walk through the park, I get like a double take because they're like, "Who's in the teal shirt?" It's me. It's me. It's great.
Aw,
When I
that's
go
super
into the
cool.
park also, I have like, they'll come and ask me about Genie Plus and I'm like, I have no idea how that works. I am in a backstage role. I'm going to direct you to the blue umbrella where
Yeah.
the guest relations people are and they'll be able to tell you how that
Notice
works.
that 2-finger point just
Yeah,
then?
that was
Yeah.
perfect.
It's 2 fingers or 1 hand. You just can't use 1 finger because it looks accusatory.
I did not know.
SeaWorld did the same thing.
Oh, did they? Because they
Yeah.
didn't.
They
They didn't
all-
teach me that when I worked at SeaWorld. There's another job
Oh,
I've had.
jeez.
When I knew I was
What'd you do at SeaWorld?
wardrobe technician. Same thing I did
Nice.
at Disney, except I did a lot more like puppet maintenance,
Oh, those puppets.
hanging out with the Sesame Street characters, dressing Bumble actually.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, helping Bumble get dressed for meeting our guests.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That is cool.
So I'm totally going off the track, but pardon
Squirrel
the pun.
time.
Hey, it's pun day.
Sunday Pun Day.
It's a Sunday Fun Day. Sunday Fun Day Fun Day.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you did costuming in college? What were you doing?
yeah. So I wasn't like a theater major, so I didn't necessarily have to take theater practicum, but I would do it like as an extra credit to move my credits along. And I would do costuming, so I was in the costume shop, so I would like, I don't have like sewing machine skills very well. Like I can do it, but the straight line is more diagonal than anything.
Right.
So, which to answer a follow-up question I know is coming, no, I don't have to sew in costuming at Disney. Not a required skill to have, because we have a team of alterations folks who fix anytime there's a missing button or a hole or something. I just bring it to them.
Right. Sounds a lot like Broadway.
I was just about
Yeah,
to say
yeah.
that.
Told us.
Very
How
divided
there's,
up.
Yeah.
how there's like dressers versus
Yes.
alterations people. Yeah,
Yeah,
it runs a lot like Broadway.
Yeah.
So
Have you thought? I'm going to completely cut you off
Yeah.
here. We're just going to go off.
yeah,
track.
yeah.
on my
I'm sorry.
squirrel.
I'm totally. We're squirrels.
Squirrelception.
I'm cute. Yeah. Have you ever thought about making that switch to Broadway and doing dressing stuff? Because you have all this experience.
I'm really tired of winter weather. I don't know if I can do it again.
So no.
Oh yeah, true. Forgot
I
that's all the way
thought
up
that
in
I
Jersey.
might go to.
New York.
Oh, excuse me. I thought that I might go to New York at some point in my life. But now I feel like too much of my heart is in Florida.
Gotcha.
So like,
Yeah. And you're
my
happy where you're at. You're
my
happy where
boyfriend
you're
and his family live here. So
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't want to leave them, and I have my LCT family who I wouldn't want to leave
at.
either.
Yeah. No. Cool.
I definitely would go like visit New York, and I definitely want to like,
Stupid music.
like I'd love to go backstage. And I've been to New York City before. That was one of our like band and chorus trips we used to take. So I've seen like a couple shows and whatnot. I actually saw the infamous Spider-Man Broadway show.
Oh, did you really? Mm-hmm. You're one of like 5 people that saw it.
Yeah. We were balcony, so like.
Why was it infamous?
Because it like closed down immediately.
They had a lot of safety infractions.
Issues.
Oh,
Like,
you mean Spider-Man?
They would fall from
Flying
the
and-
rigging quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
No
problem.
one ever passed away, despite rumors. No one ever passed away, but there were serious injuries.
dangerous.
No one got injured at my show. It was a really cool show. I will
Was
give
it?
it that. I won't say it was great because it was a Broadway show about Spider-Man, but like it was really, really cool. Like the way they did stuff, and the costuming and that was also really cool. Like the villains costumes, you can see they were on like the Jimmy Fallon show. I think they're crazy. Like the costumes themselves, like spark and spin and like. It's insane. It's crazy. Anyway, no, I don't think I would go to Broadway. I don't think I have the technical skills per se because I didn't go to college for theater. If anything, I'd like to move more into the arts administration side. Like, I don't know how many listeners will understand with this, but like what Bernadette does at LCT, that's what I went to college for.
Oh, okay.
So like, I've been a performer before. I used to perform in like high school.
You want to run a theater?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be
All
nice.
right. There we go.
Like if I wasn't working at Disney, that's what I'd want to do. But I very much see myself staying at Disney.
You love it that
for the
much.
rest of my life. Yeah, I love my job.
Yeah.
I love the people I work with. I love all my performers and my costuming cast members. And
because if you love your job and you love the people you work with,
It's kind of rare.
Yeah,
stay where you
it is
are.
a rare thing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And you get to go anytime you want, right?
I
to visit the park.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what kind of benefits? Yeah.
So I get into the parks for free, and I get so many like guest passes to let people in for free. I have healthcare, dental, vision, like everyone else. And I
401k.
we just got a 401k. Yeah.
Nice.
We did have, I think it was a Roth IRA. Now we have a 401k as well. Or maybe it wasn't a Roth IRA. It might have been a pension. I don't know. I have to opt into it for next year, but I haven't gotten that far yet. They haven't done our open enrollment yet, so
I'm sure it's coming up.
I haven't looked at
October will be
it's,
here before
yeah.
you know it.
Yeah.
Which is also when I have to renew one of my cosmetology licenses. So there's a lot going on. Because one renews in October and the other one renews in November. So, I'm trying to think. We also get a lot of like big discounts. So like, because there's a corporate sponsorship with Chevy, we get a discount on Chevy vehicles.
Oh,
But
wow.
Nice.
it's only brand new vehicles though. Like I would have to buy like a brand new like Chevy Tahoe. So we get a lot of other like discounts. Sometimes we get discounts on like Disney Cruise Line, but it's only like specific cruises.
Ones they need to fill,
Pretty much.
probably.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every other business.
Yeah.
So
That'd be
like,
cool to do costumes for them.
Yeah, I've looked into
Yeah.
costume technician because when you go on the cruise line, you do costuming and cosmetology. The problem is it's on a contract. So like you're on the ship for like, I don't know, 8 months, and then like they'll either renew your contract or they won't, and then you like get off the ship and you either have to like find a job,
Right.
or you have to wait for your next contract.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
have to have so many months not at sea also
Oh.
per like maritime law.
Uh-huh.
So like a lot
Kinda
of
like
people will
pilots
do
have to
like
rest.
8 or 9 months on the ship and then they're off for like 2.
Huh.
So yeah, you have to. They have
Why?
to like give you because you work like every single day you're on the ship. You don't really have.
You
a-
gotta
Like,
get
if
your
you
land
love it-
legs. I don't know.
I don't know if you love it. Do you need land legs?
I don't know. People just live on ships, right? So
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what I keep telling
Yeah.
Chris I want to
I
do. Like
know.
when we retire, I'm like
Let's
on the
just go-
cruise ship.
yeah, let's just live there.
honestly, my like dream role if I worked on.
We talked about doing nursing on ships too. It's so cool. Sorry.
No, you're good. My dream, if I like did work on a cruise ship, I'd want to be one of the people that like hosts trivia.
Oh yes.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah.
I feel like I'd be a good trivia host.
Yes. That would be a fun job.
And there are
and
definitely
she'd be like,
times-
"Oh, I know this because I worked this job.
I
used to make
actually
random thing."
I did Muppet trivia when I was on our last cruise. So Keaton was off like watching a movie, so I was playing trivia because I had like a hair appointment, so I like didn't want to like start the movie and then like whatever. So I was doing Muppets trivia, and I had done a game of trivia before. I don't remember what it was. And then the girl came up to me because she saw how hype it was for Muppet trivia, and she was like, "How do you pronounce the names of these Muppets?"
Oh my
geez.
gosh.
It was like Statler and Waldorf, I think.
Oh.
And then I actually won in no surprise to anyone. I got 18 out of 20 questions right.
Oh my gosh,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you win a prize?
You get medals, basically. I won a
Oh.
Goofy medal. My favorite thing was, one of the questions was like, when did the Muppets debut? And I was like, are you talking about like the Muppets, or are you talking about Sam and Friends? Because Sam and Friends was like the first iteration of the Muppets, but they weren't
She was
officially the
probably
Muppets.
like,
and
I
she
don't
was
know.
like, I'll let you pick 2 answers because you know more than me, clearly. And I was like,
I'm
okay.
reading a script.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I
Well, it
cannot
felt like a
veer.
trick question. The two
Only to you.
Yeah. The two questions I got wrong were the two movies I haven't seen, because believe it or not, I haven't seen all the Muppet movies. So it was the Muppets Take Manhattan and Muppets in Space. I haven't seen those. So
I
Those
feel
are
like
the two
they're
I have
popular.
seen.
Yeah,
they're not on like Disney Plus.
Really?
Yeah, no. I
What's
don't know
up with
why.
that?
That's weird.
Probably some sort of contract thing. I don't know.
Well, most likely.
Yeah.
Because it was
Is everything
different.
in contract?
Well, it was Jim Henson Productions who like did all of them, but it may have been different distribution services once it went to
Oh,
like VHS and DVD. So
Yeah, could be.
I don't know. I don't know too much about production, so like can't really speak on that. But
I just had like the randomest like thing pop in my head
Oh, jeez.
about like, okay, so your little sticker over there, costuming that is on your water bottle.
oh yeah,
That's from
Sesame
SeaWorld.
Street. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have Sesame Street at SeaWorld.
Right.
Yes. That's
Which
what I
has
used to
some
do.
overlap, does it not, with characters
It's all very
in
incestuous.
the Muppets?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Which is-
like,
Oh, I can
licensing
explain
is
that.
kind of weird, right?
I can explain that actually.
Yay.
I wrote my paper on this. Okay.
Sweet.
So the Sesame
I love that it's not off limits.
I know. I'm so sorry. Most of my job is proprietary, but I really do enjoy being employed.
I get it.
So if any of the
Doing that for
executives
you.
are listening to this, I love my job. And I promise I do not share information that I'm not supposed to share. Like I said, sign a lot of NDAs. So Sesame Street, those characters were created because it was when like educational children's TV was like really being looked into. So in the late 60s, early 70s, and Sesame Street premiered in 1969. And this is funny. My dad was in kindergarten when it premiered. And he's like, "Yeah, they knew I needed some extra help." He says
how
that
to
they made
count.
Sesame Street just for him because they used to show it in like elementary school. They would play
I
it in
didn't
the
know
mornings.
that.
Certain like they did
Yeah.
it for some
Like
schools.
with letters and
every once in a
counting.
while they'd like
Yeah.
show an episode of Sesame Street sort of thing. And now like if you ever watch the old episodes, they have like disclaimers on them that are like don't because it was a very different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it had different messages and like
Yeah.
different if
that
you
didn't
watch
age
the
well.
old episodes, there's a
Really?
disclaimer before them. But
everything.
they
I
made
mean, yeah, I
You can't
guess.
talk about that stuff now, and you can't.
I
yeah.
guess it never occurred to me that it wouldn't have aged well. It's Sesame Street. Like, you
Yeah.
just assumed it was
Yeah.
all good.
Because-
Yeah.
But it's like an urban setting. And,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
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 We're just gonna
just
talk
some
about, yeah.
just some verbiage has changed and,
Yes,
you know
yes.
correct language if you will. So the Muppets for Sesame Street were made in conjunction with, at the time, the Children's Television Workshop. I believe they're now referred to as Sesame Workshop. I may have misspoke earlier and called them Children's Television Workshop still. But Sesame Workshop owns the Sesame Street characters. So while they are technically Muppets, they don't technically fully belong to Jim Henson. So,
Okay.
yeah. They were made by, like, Jim Henson, and he used to, like, do... Because Kermit used to be, like, a regular on the show.
Right.
But now, all of those characters belong to the Sesame Workshop. And it's really cool, like, the characters they're introducing. Like, they introduced Julia, who is the Sesame Street character with autism.
Okay.
So, like, she has, like, little headphones because she has noise sensitivity, and the puppet itself, like, she has, like, hand flaps, so she, like, flaps her hands a lot, and she's verbal, but she doesn't speak in full sentences necessarily. So they did a whole episode on her, and they actually have her at SeaWorld.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know she comes out in April for Autism Awareness Month, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's out all the time though, because I don't work at SeaWorld anymore. I only worked there for 6 months, and I quit my job at SeaWorld to stage manage Mamma Mia at LCT. So that's a fun fact for you, in case you're wondering how that worked out. Yeah, she's really cool.
She's like, I'm just gonna quit my paying job to go over here. That just shows your dedication and your passion to the theater.
And
Erica,
that was
we
We get a
love
little bit
that.
to SM.
Yeah.
little
that was
bit.
I mean,
awesome.
at that point
Oh,
too.
yeah,
It
true,
doesn't-
true.
I don't think it rivals what you would get on a
Yeah.
normal.
9 to 5.
I
Right?
Yeah.
I really did it for experience. So,
No, that's awesome.
I
It's
had-
investment.
yeah. I had money saved up from when I had been on unemployment during COVID because they were giving us a lot of money. So I was in a financial spot where I could do that, and
that's
I
great.
knew I was really close to getting called back to Disney. So I
Yeah.
knew that once Mamma Mia ended, I only had a few weeks before I would go back to Disney. And I did get another job like while I was at
Yeah.
LCT. I worked at the Old Navy at Lakeland Park Center.
Okay.
didn't pay very well, but it was money was money. It
Yeah,
really was
it
like
was a job.
gas and food money, basically.
Right. And then
Yeah.
you just buy
And then I got
clothes with your
I got my
paycheck.
stipend from
That's what I did when I
LCT.
worked there.
Perfect.
And then I was supposed to stage manage kids camp like the week after, but I ended up getting sick. But they gave me my stipend anyway. Shout out to LCT for that. You guys rock.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was nice. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you knew this. I stage managed. I rehearsal stage managed, I should say. Mamma Mia with no stage managing experience.
Oh, jeez. Did you have somebody you shadowed, or is somebody?
So actually,
She's like, no.
Did they just tell you what to do? Like, I need you to go do this.
Who was
and you're
the
like,
director
okay.
for that?
Alan.
Alan.
It was
okay.
So they had done Disenchanted in 2020, so it was the next summer musical, and like we had a lot of people at auditions. I remember it was my first time running auditions.
I
too.
auditioned for that one.
Yeah, I like
a crazy
to
show,
think
huh?
that I ran some pretty good auditions. I felt like I got people in and out pretty fast.
That's cute.
Also, I'd never run auditions before, but I had like a 2 or 3 hour sit down with Caitlin Reynolds while they were striking. Oh my gosh, Savannah Sipping Society.
Oh, yeah.
This was 2021, mind you. So we like sat down. She gave me all her intel and know-how, and like truly could not have done that show without her. Like everything I did in Mamma Mia for rehearsal stage managing like came from her. And any time I like ran into an issue, I would text her and be like, I don't know what to do. And she'd be like so casual. So Caitlin was so chill. She was just like, da da da, like, oh, this is how you fix this problem. And it worked.
Yeah. And I bet you learned so much. You know?
I did, yeah.
Baptism by fire, is that what they call that?
Yeah. So I hosted, as the rehearsal stage manager, I hosted auditions, and then I just ran rehearsals. And then Kat Weed was my production stage manager.
Nice.
So she called it, because I never called a show in my life. Like I said, had never stage managed. And then I was run crew for the rest of it. So I was in charge of anything on stage right, basically. Which wasn't much, because we had a pit chorus, so none of the sets could go stage right. And I don't know if you remember, that set would like flip and spin.
Yeah.
So like the stage right stage piece always had to leave, so we'd always have to push all the way back and move it all the way into the shop.
Oh.
It was, all of those scene changes were like choreographed. It was insane. At one point there was a scene change where like the two set pieces had to cross by each other, and we had these half walls. And I literally had to like kneel on the half walls. Like I was on all fours on the half walls while the like scenes, or the
bigger pieces.
The bigger pieces moved, and like I would normally like get off in time to where the audience didn't see me just like sitting on the stage piece so
It's
I could
funny.
move it.
I don't think everybody knows that how much of a dance that stage stuff is.
Yeah.
Especially for Mamma Mia, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wait till y'all see Cinderella.
There were
It's
5
a lot
big
like that.
pieces.
They made us, like, I think I told you this, they made us a little, like a model version of the set for Cinderella. And the little pieces are made so we can move them around and figure out how we want, like, each scene to be set. And Laura and Susie Lambert and I sat down with that last week and tried moving them around to try and figure out how that dance is going to go.
Right.
That's Laura's, like, forte, by the way.
Oh, is it? She's
Yeah.
a genius.
Oh, she's amazing.
She is, but she is that. Like, she's like, I can see how that will work. And, she's like, I just attribute all of the years as a kid playing with doll houses.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So little kids, or parents of little kids playing with dolls, if you didn't think there was a practical application in life, there sure
you go.
is.
Yeah. So I had never done Run Crew.
like a
So
puzzle.
when I was, we'll just rewind to when I was really little. I had always been like a performer. Like when I was 3, my mom bought me this Fisher Price like stage. I'll send you guys a picture of it. You'll get a laugh out of it. When you opened the little curtains, because it had the little pull, it would activate this little button. It would clap for you.
Oh my gosh.
It would applaud for you.
Oh.
So we had it set
still
up,
make
and my
that?
mom has like home videos of me and my like. I had all these dress up clothes, and I'd be like dancing and singing. Like I was always very much a performer. I broke my leg when I was like 3 or 4, and then my options were physical therapy or dance classes, so I took dance classes, and that's how I got into the most expensive hobby my parents could have ever done. So I was a jazz and tap dancer for most of my life. I recently, when I went back home, I took a tap class at my old studio, and let me tell you, it doesn't leave you, but like it doesn't connect. Because I understood everything she was saying, but like my feet wouldn't do it. And I was like, I know what a brush flat ball change maxi forward is, but my feet will not do it for whatever reason.
I don't know how anybody tap dances, to be honest with you. My feet don't move that way.
I can send you guys a video of me.
I'm like,
my senior
my
year of high
foot
school.
is so
It's on
stiff.
YouTube.
I can't get it to like loosen up. I don't know how people do that.
Well, there's technically 3 parts to a tap shoe, not 2.
Okay.
There's your toe and your heel tap, and then there's a rubber part that like muffles the sound. So like when you see someone, I don't remember what, of course I can't remember what it's called, but when they throw down their like toe, I think it's not a scuff. It's got some sort of funky name, but it like stops the tap sound almost immediately. It's almost like a mute in a trumpet, basically. It like stops the sound from happening. Yeah.
Weird.
I call it. I think we referred to it as like so the toe tap was A, and then the middle part was B, like B for brakes, because it like would stop the noise from happening, and then your heel was your C. So yeah. I also had a heck of a time doing advanced tap in my tap shoes because I have jazz taps, and most tap shoes have a hard sole and a hard toe, so you can do like toe ups and wings. Jazz taps do not do that, so like the whole front of my tap shoe is just like gone from trying to do toe ups and like wings. My tap shoes look wretched. I brought them back recently and I was like, ugh, I need to get new ones. These things look awful. I hadn't touched them since high school and I was like, ugh. But anyway, so I grew up being a performer. I was in like every musical in high school, and we ended up doing actually like 3 tap shows while I was there. So did that a lot. Like we did Millie and White Christmas and we had to do a Broadway review my junior year of high school because our theater was filled with asbestos. Oh my god! So believe it or not, you know,
they built everything with asbestos back in the day.
Truly, just Ericka things. No, the auditorium looked the same as when my parents were in high school, because we all went to the same high school. Right. Like it looked exact. The seats are the same as when my parents were there in the '80s. Like it's insane. And so we had to do it. There's an opera house in my hometown. It's technically a city. It's like the smallest city in Vermont. No shock to anyone. So we did our Broadway review there, and we did a tap number. I don't remember which one it was. I'm going to be honest. That is the one show I like don't remember doing. Like in high school, I was like, I know some of the numbers I was in, but then I'll see photos from it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was fun. But then my senior year of high school, I ended up going to. It's called the Hannaford Career Center. And it was a vocational school, so they had like culinary and like early childhood ed, and it gave you like technical skills. But I went for technical theater because that was the morning program, and I just wanted to. I knew I liked like costumes and fashion, hair and makeup, and I was like, I want to learn more. And originally, I actually went for sound, but I could not tie the speakers to the pipes to save my life. I almost dropped a speaker, so I was like, I'm gonna go up to the costume shop because clearly sound is not for me. Right.
We're gonna pivot here.
Also ironic, I don't like really loud noises, so why I was in sound, I don't know. But I went into costumes and like hand-sewed feather boas onto robes and polished shoes, and I was happy in the little costume shop. We had to sew a messenger bag. That was one of our homework assignments. Well, we had to do it in class because like we didn't have like sewing machines, but we had to like cut out all the pattern pieces. I still have it. It's somewhere. Not here. It's back home. But
that's a good skill to have though in life.
Yeah. I can kind of machine, so that's like a really, really like iffy statement.
Yeah.
But I can.
Give me the straight line. I'm good.
Like I said, it's a straight line, but it might go a little diagonal. And then I really like the technical side of theater, but I was more interested in the admin side of it because...
like the business aspect?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's what I ended up going to college for was, like, how do I write a grant? How do I get money for a nonprofit?
Yeah.
So, like, the way I boil my degree down, now that we're coming all the way back around, is it's, like, nonprofit management, but for the arts. So it's for theaters and... like museums and like cultural not exhibits but like cultural venues. So like I had to take a class called Museum Studies, and it's like how do you deal with controversy, because museums deal with like a lot of controversies. I had to take Performing Arts Management, which is like, okay, you've now received a rider from the performers. How do you meet all the needs? How do, like, one of my favorite projects we did was like curating a performance in a venue and how you were going to do it and how you were going to get money for it. Grant writing was one of my strengths, and it's a very specific thing to know how to do, because not only do you have to write like, you have to be persuasive and be like, here's why we deserve the money, but you also have to provide a exact breakdown down to the cent, because you have to break even with the grant. Like, you have to spend every single penny on a specific thing, and you had to prove it in, like, a graph.
Oh gosh.
Like a graph and a chart and a
Wow.
There's a whole thing.
It's a good essay. It's
the
data behind it.
And there's more math in it than people think, and I'm not great at math, but it made me better at math. Like, you had to be able to read nonprofit tax forms are like Form 990s, and I had to be able to look at 2 different years of tax forms and find the increases and the decreases in, like, revenue and expenses and salaries and, like, in-kind donations versus grants, and learning all of that stuff. So, like, if I didn't work at Disney, like, I would love to, like, run a theater. And I do try to, like, give my knowledge out to people. Like, if someone, like, starts a nonprofit, I'm like, oh, okay, if you need help writing grants, like, let me know. Like,
We've
I
heard
got
that
you.
a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say you guys started your foundation, so if you need help writing grants, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I do have a copy of one of my grants, because that one I had in the, like, Google Cloud. It wasn't on my computer. I have that somewhere. That was my sophomore year, though, so, like, not my best grant writing, but
Gotten better since then.
Well, this is like super interesting.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
that. Totally a different aspect than I think that we've kind of had before. I mean, we've had jesters on, but
Talking to your mic, Kathy.
sorry. I'm so
uses
bad
her
about
hand.
that.
I know she does.
I do. Here, let me
Switch
hold it with
hands.
my left hand.
There you go.
That way I can talk with my right hand.
yeah.
Anyway, so, but yeah, this has been super cool.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you coming on, and
This is probably the squirreliest episode you've had.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know, we tend to just kind of get
Mostly
together.
because
and,
I've
Talky
done
talk.
so much for someone who's been on this earth for 26 years.
You really have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 26.
Yeah. Who knows what I'll do in the next 50, 60 years?
That's right.
I don't even know.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you
on.
so much.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate you.
I love you guys. I'm honestly starstruck that I got to be on.
please.
Oh. Ah,
That's funny.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Don't be.
All
Yeah.
right, cool.
All
Well,
right.
everybody have a great Sunday pun day.
Enjoy this beautiful weather.
I know.
Yeah, it's
That's right.
gorgeous out.
I'm
So
going to go to
nice.
the Halloween
Soft.
party at Disney tonight. So.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah. That'll
Keaton
be
and I
nice.
got costumes planned, so
Nice.
Halloween.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're on the Halloween party tonight at Disney.
At Disney.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because they've already started
They
up.
run
started,
they run
like-
from August to October.
Yeah.
That's what he dressed as.
We're going as Wade and Ember from Pixar's Elemental.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
One of my infamous Amazon costumes, as I call it, where I find pieces on Amazon and make it look as close to the movie as I
That's
can.
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy. We're
Yeah.
all
Have a
that.
great time. Yeah.
You guys have a good
All
weekend.
right, guys.
Bye,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.